unit was also present. The commander at the scene, Miguel, was a well-known negotiation expert. After hearing from the released guard that his phone was taken, Miguel made a call. He was preparing to apply psychological tactics in the negotiation. But before he could even speak, one robber interrupted him. A week earlier, the robbers had studied his work carefully. To handle the negotiations smoothly today, they had prepared in advance. They even spent all their savings on acting classes. Before the robbery, Mario had practiced repeatedly in front of a mirror. He trained this way to learn the tricks of negotiation experts. At the scene, this also helped them buy more time. It gave their partners enough time to empty the safes in the vault. Fernando and his team quickly set up their equipment and began working. Now every second mattered more than ever. With the lock opening machine, Fernando soon opened the first safe, but there was nothing inside at all. Still, this did not discourage Fernando in the slightest. He confidently moved on to the second safe. This time it was filled with a large amount of cash. Before he could react, he opened the third safe. Inside was a bag filled with white powder. Seeing this, Fernando quickly put everything back in place. But there were still hundreds of safes waiting to be opened, and even more unexpected things were yet to come. Meanwhile, the police remained outside without taking further action. They assumed this was just a group of unorganized robbers, so they chose negotiation as the main way to resolve the situation. Miguel kept urging them to surrender and admit everything they had done. He also warned that police had fully surrounded the bank, so not even a fly could escape. At the same time, he ordered a team of officers to quietly climb onto the bank's roof. But he underestimated the robbers completely. Soon, one robber heard movement coming from above on the roof. He told Miguel this had made them extremely angry. Then he warned that if the officers did not leave within a minute, they would be responsible. Hearing this, Miguel had no choice but to order the team to withdraw. Once the police left the roof, the robber began making new demands. He asked the commanding officer to come inside for direct negotiation. He claimed this was necessary for the safety of the hostages. Miguel could only agree to the request. But after nearly an hour, the officer still had not arrived. So the robbers called Molina themselves to ask why he was delayed. This was done to buy more time for their accomplices. Not long after, the commanding officer finally arrived at the scene. As soon as the call connected, the robber loudly scolded him. After venting everything, he made another demand. He said he wanted a lawyer within 30 minutes. He even gave Miguel a phone number for the lawyer, but Miguel did not expect the name provided was completely fake. Still, the police contacted a real lawyer afterward. At that moment, inside the bank, Mario removed his black hat. He sat in the manager's chair and spoke with the lawyer and police. Both the police and the officer believed what the lawyer said, so Mario successfully bought more time for his partners. Meanwhile, the safe unlocking process continued smoothly. At that moment, a hostage in the lobby suddenly raised his hand. Even during the robbery, he calmly raised his left hand to speak. He said he needed to take care of something urgently. Hearing this, the robber kindly told him to use the plant pot in the corner. But with another robber standing nearby, the man became nervous. The robber even told his partner not to keep staring at him. Unexpectedly, less than a minute later, the man raised his hand again. He asked to go to the bathroom for a second time. This time, the robber allowed him to go straight there. Seeing the gun swinging in front of him, the man was terrified. But what the robber did next left him completely shocked. The considerate robber suddenly opened the main door and let him leave. Miguel quickly rushed over to question him about the situation, but the man was so frightened he couldn't say a single word. His pants were already soaked from fear. Seeing the robbers release a hostage like that, Miguel was confused. In reality, all of this was meant to distract the police. At the same time, a sniper inside also noticed something unbelievable. Inside the bank, a robber was holding a birthday cake. He carefully lit candles on top of it. It turned out that earlier, an elderly woman said it was her birthday. So the robbers decided to celebrate her 80th birthday. He even told the hostages there to sing happy birthday to her. Then the polite robber safely escorted the elderly woman outside. This unexpected scene left the experienced commander unsure how to react. He felt these robbers never acted according to normal logic, yet he still could not find anything truly suspicious. Thanks to Mario and the others buying time, Fernando had more time to open safes, but soon they faced a new problem. The lock opening machine had been running non-stop and overheated without cooling. It became temporarily unusable. They had no choice but to wait for it to recover. At that moment, all the robbers' alarm clocks suddenly rang. According to the plan, it was time to escape. However, many safes were still unopened. Leaving now would feel like a waste. But Fernando, who led the plan, showed no greed at all. He decisively ordered everyone to retreat as planned. After receiving the order, the robber upstairs drew his gun. He warned the hostages not to move at all. Meanwhile, those below began packing their things. They moved the money bags into the tunnel. Then the three robbers quickly crawled inside. They slid each bag of money down the tunnel slope into the drain. The accomplice below picked them up and loaded them them onto the boat. The last two entering the tunnel stayed behind to clean the scene. After finishing, they pushed the cabinet back to hide the tunnel entrance. Then they quickly used that chance to retreat. Outside, the police were extremely tense and worried. They immediately entered full combat readiness. The commander even sent a special team to guard the drain exit. Inside, Fernando did not rush to leave. He calmly laid a red towel on the floor. Then he neatly arranged the guns used during the robbery. Before leaving, he placed a prepared note in the middle of the lobby. He did this not to provoke the police. He wanted to show the guns were only water guns. This way, if caught, their sentence might be reduced. Finally, the robbers seemed to vanish from the bank entirely. Just as they escaped, the police stormed inside. They only saw hostages lying quietly on the ground. There was no sign of any robbers at all. After a careful inspection, the experienced commander noticed marks below. He ordered his team to move the iron cabinet aside. That revealed the hidden tunnel in the wall. Miguel believed he would catch them soon. He had already sent a special team to guard the exit. But he did not expect Fernando had not used that route. Instead, they moved against the water flow. They traveled deeper inside the drain. Soon after, they reached another section beneath the system. Their accomplices had been waiting there for a long time. One quickly opened the car door and stepped inside. He opened the vehicle's undercarriage and lifted the manhole cover. This was how their escape route was created. After everyone got into the car, the last man loaded the money bags. With machine support, they quickly brought all the bags inside. Finally, they closed the manhole cover back into place. The robbery ended successfully without a trace. The end. Remember, this story is based on Argentina's robbery of the century, so do not try to imitate anything shown here. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more recaps like this.